Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. Today I have kind of a different-ish video for you. I think that a lot of you have kind of like noticed, and so many of you guys know me even better than I know myself, just that like I have not been in the greatest of spirits lately. My videos maybe haven't been as happy as they normally are, and I kind of like go back and forth because I film at different points. I'm kind of bad about filming videos and then not putting them up in chronological order. Like I'll put up other videos if I find them more relevant or more interesting or anything like that, or you know, sometimes I just want to upload a specific video. I'm very like all over the place, and so I might have seemed really happy in some and really kind of like not so peppy in others, and I have just been going through so much stuff here recently, and it has resulted in me not sleeping very much or not having a very good night's sleep. Maybe this is a result of that, or maybe it's something totally different, and I kind of wanted you guys to be the judge and to hear me out because I had the weirdest dream last night. I had the craziest, most terrifying, most bizarre nightmare I have ever had. If we're being totally honest, this nightmare has reoccurred multiple times throughout my life, and I'm kind of curious about what it means. The location is not always the same. The like monster or ghost or demon or whatever is not always the same, but I've had this same nightmare over and over and over again for I think close to 7 years now. And it's not like it'll happen every single night, but it does happen, and I kind of wanted to run through it with you and run through the most recent one with you guys and see if any of you have ever had a similar experience, or if some crazy like dream decoder out there could like help me understand what it is. I'm literally like, I'm dressed to go. I am supposed to be at a music festival right now. I can't get this out of my head, so I have to talk to you guys first and then go out and go do the thing. Probably vlog, who knows. I have a vlog channel if you didn't know. It's linked down below. It's just called LoeyBug if you guys ever want to follow me around like my day-to-day adventures. The dream always starts off the same. I either move into a new house, or I'm visiting a house, or I am going to be staying long-term in a residence that is not my own or is not one that I'm used to. And sometimes in past dreams, and the first time I ever had this dream, it was a mansion. It was a gigantic, gigantic brick mansion that was stories and stories and stories tall. In other dreams, I had one where it was just this little house on the lake. I had, in this most recent one, it was in an old, it's like this place was a haunted house, like an attraction haunted house at one point, but it was truly haunted. There was like a demon or a ghost or something. The first time I ever had this dream was the most vivid, and the one that I woke up from, and I could not shake it. And every time I would go back to sleep, it would pick right up where it left off. I mean, to the point where I had to just wake up for the day at like 2 in the morning in the middle of the night. And this would have been years and years and years ago, and I can still remember so many details. And honestly, if I ever forget, I just have it over again. So the original dream went like this. I was staying in a mansion, and I had, I think, someone there with me, but at the time I can't recall who it was. It might have been like a family member or something like that, or at the time my then boyfriend, like something. Somebody was there with me, but I never really saw them very much. It was like they were always gone. I was always at the house alone, and there was a butler of all things, like me, like a butler, like really, like came with the house, like worked in the house. We were like caretakers of the house. Like we couldn't leave it for a specific amount of time, but we were there. I'm just gonna say it was my boyfriend at the time because I can't remember who it was that was with me. So he was always gone. He was never at the house, and I was always there alone. And things would happen all of the time, and the dream would always start off like very subtle. Like I would see something move out of the corner of my eye, and I would look over and the thing had moved. And I would think, that's so weird. And then it would turn into so much more than that. I would have this like demonic like entity, like this really creepy, and the best way I can explain it is it looks like a demon in like any horror movie. Very creepy, grinning from ear to ear, just like evil, gross, like, oh, like creepy, really scary. And this demon thing would chase me all of the time, but sometimes it wouldn't make itself visible. When it was chasing me, sometimes I would look behind me and there would be nothing there, but I could see like paintings falling off of the wall in this beautiful old historic mansion, and I would see just like things moving. And then one day I was telling my boyfriend about all of this in the dream, and he was just like, you're crazy, like what the hell is wrong with you? And then one day I walked out of my bedroom in the mansion, and all of the furniture, everything in the mansion was just swirling in the center of the house, and it was so freaking scary. And then I ran to the butler dude who was in there and I was like, yo, we gotta get the F out of here. Like, we gotta go. And then the butler looked at me and his face changed into the demon. The plot of a freaking horror movie, but I can't think of like what horror movie it would be. And so that was when I woke up the first time and I was so scared, and then I would go back to sleep and I would be caught in this like swirling vortex of furniture and books, and like everything in this mansion was just like swirling in the middle of the like gigantic place. And the butler was there and he was just grinning at me and he was so creepy, and I knew he was the demon, and it was, I don't know, it was just so weird. And so I had it the first time, and then I had it again, but it was at a different location. There was no butler, there was just like a demon ghost thing, and the same sort of stuff would happen. I would progress through the dream and it would be this haunted situation, and things would start moving, and it would always end with like things like swirling, and I couldn't get out of the house, and like the windows were locked, the doors were locked, whatever. And so I've had this dream in different locations, in different places, with different people involved, all of the time. I mean, for years and years and years now. And then I had it again last night, but a couple of details changed and I wanted to tell it. It started off in the same sort of way. I was in a house for some reason. At the time, I did not know it had once been a haunted house attraction. This time I was there with a couple of my friends. It was all girls this time. It was with some of my girlfriends, actually some of my YouTube girlfriends. For some reason, Kendall Ray was there, who I love her, but like, I don't know what we'd be doing, like staying in a haunted house together. Actually, Alexandra, my friend, was there as well. There was also, oh, Annie Marie from her channel is Itty Bitty Annie. She was there too. And then my friend Michelle, like my best friend, my longtime best friend Michelle was there. And we were all just hanging out, and I think my mom may have been there too, but I can't remember. I just remember those girls were there and we were all staying at this house. And it was like we were doing something in the woods, like kind of having like a girls' weekend in the woods. Same story. Things would be happening. I would tell the girls, they either didn't believe me or were like, you know, if you give it attention, it'll just get worse. And I was like, okay, you're right. Like, I remember at one point my suitcase full of clothes went missing. This is how vivid and detailed this dream was. So my suitcase full of clothes just went missing in the middle of this dream. And I was like, what the heck? And that's why I think this is so weird, because that's a detail that never happened before. And things at my house have been missing and then turning up in the weirdest places. And I'll talk about that at the end of the video, because I have another haunted tall update for you guys coming. In my dream, my suitcase went missing and I was like, what am I supposed to do? I don't have my clothes, I don't have my makeup, like what am I supposed to do? And Alexandra, my friend, was like, okay, like I'll give you clothes, you're totally fine, like it's all good, we got you covered. And I was like, but where did my clothes go? Like none of you guys stole my clothes, like where did they go? All of the girls came to the same conclusion at the same time, that like, oh my God, somebody broke into the house, we are in the house with a murderer. And for some reason that was our go-to, was that we were in the house, there was a murderer, we were gonna die. We wound up going through the house with like knives and stuff, like looking for this axe murderer who had stolen my suitcase, so I would have to be naked, I don't know. And so we're going through the house, we all have like weapons and stuff like that, and we're going through, and this was a detail that had never really been there before either. I just always knew that it was a ghost, it was something demonic, whatever. So we're walking through and I hear noises in the room that I'm in, and I'm with Kendall at this point. So the two of us like kind of like duck and hide, and when I look out, I see a man's reflection in this mirror thing. It's like we're kind of like in the entryway sort of area, like I think it was like an entryway, like living room area, it was all combined. And so the mirror was right next to the front door, and I saw a man's face looking into it, and it was the same, like it was the butler from my original dream. When I really think about it, that's the face that I saw. It was like this older man with this ear to ear grin, so freaking creepy, just grinning at himself in the mirror, but there was no one standing there. And I was like, Kendall, like I tried to grab her. And Kendall, the first thing she did was whip out her vlogging camera to vlog it. Kendall, this is no time for vlogging, we gotta go. And that was when the reflection in the mirror looked at us, like from the mirror looked at us, and suddenly there was a man standing like maybe a few yards away from us. I, for some reason, knew that it was the same man who was in the mirror, but he didn't have a head, and he was just staring at us, but like from the mirror. So like the man's body was standing there, and it had like materialized out of thin air. And I was just like losing my mind, like holy crap, Kendall, like we gotta go. And we're trying to figure out how we're gonna run to the door past this thing. And suddenly it disappears. And I'm like, what the heck? And the reflection in the mirror disappears too. What is that? Like, what does that mean? And then from the corner of the room, this animatronic style thing of like, it was just like a little kid, like creepy animatronic, like bounces out, and the two of us were scared, but like knew that it wasn't a ghost, it was an animatronic. And I was like, what does this mean? Like, where are we? And suddenly the reflection came back up in the mirror and then looked at us, and then the headless body appeared, and then it went away again, and the cycle kept going. And I was like, this is a haunted house. Like, we're staying in a haunted house, like a fake haunted house. That's the only thing that makes sense. And for some reason, that was my go-to, instead of like, this place is super haunted, like there are things flying everywhere, we gotta go. We wound up running to the front door first off, and it was locked. We couldn't get out. Like, it was locked from the outside or something, or barricaded or something like that, like whatever, we couldn't get out. And so I was like, okay, we got to find a way out of this house. And so we wind up going through the house and trying to get out, and it's the same story. Things are moving out of the corner of our eye. Like, we see the little green demon thing, but instead of like knowing it was a demon or whatever, I just thought like, oh, it's an animatronic, like we're in a haunted house. So I wasn't scared. And we had to actually get on, there was just a casual like roller coaster in the middle of the house that I had just, you know, not known about before now. So we had to get on this roller coaster to get out, and that was the way out of the house. So we get on the roller coaster and we're going through it, and there are all these like jump scares and like things going out at us, and this is me and all of my friends that I was in the house with. And at the end of the roller coaster, it's like it brings you outside of the house. And on the outside of the roller coaster, there's literally a man standing there with an axe waiting to kill us. And so we're terrified. We run back into the house, and everything is swirling. The furniture, everything is swirling. And that's the way that all of these dreams have ended, is that everything in the house just starts like rushing together. And I saw the little demon thing again, and it was just like smiling at us from like the kitchen area of the house, and I was just like so creeped out, so freaked out. Suddenly there's a bang on the window, and the axe murderer dude, who is a new factor into the story, is waiting on the outside of the house. And I'm just like, okay, so we're trapped in a haunted house that's like truly haunted, and there are like all these animatronics and freaky things for this demon ghost to play with. And on the outside there was an axe murderer. So if we did get out using the roller coaster system, we were like going to die. And if we stayed in the house, we were going to die and like be haunted. So that's when I finally woke up, and I was really freaked out, and it was really weird. But I think that it's so strange that I have had that same nightmare for literally like 7 years, like almost a decade. I've had that dream for so freaking long. And it's always the same demon thing that I see. And I never knew in the beginning. I think it was a little bit scarier when I first started experiencing it. And now I'm kind of like, I have this nightmare all the time. Like, I don't know what it means, but it doesn't faze me as much anymore. It's still freaky for sure. But I always used to chalk it up to a ghost. Like, I always have had like really scary dreams that were always very vivid and always utilize people I don't personally know. And so since it was the same demon or the same ghost or whatever, I was like, oh, this is a paranormal dream. It's all good, girl. Like, my childhood home that I grew up in, I used to have dreams like that all of the time. And so I just chalked it up to another bad dream, like possibly paranormal, but I really didn't know. And I've been having it for so long now, and I think it just kind of like aligns with my paranormal theory that I have something following me, that it's not a specific house or a specific place that I go to and it's always haunted. I think genuinely that like whatever haunts me has followed me for years, because I've had this dream for so long. I've had this nightmare for so long. And I don't know what it means. If there are any dream decoders out there who can tell me, because the butler's face is not a face that I recognize. Like, I can't place it in a movie. I can't place it anywhere. And it's so exaggerated and so creepy when like it's like that butler dude who was the butler in the OG story and who was just the creepy guy in the mirror in this story. I think that I see him, not every dream, but almost every dream. And I can't place him like IRL, you know what I mean? So I would love to know you guys' theories. I just wanted to make this little video, and I know like it's not necessarily paranormal, it's just weird, but I wanted to share it with you guys and hear your thoughts. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you guys so much, and I love having you as my family, and you mean everything to me, so thank you for all of your support. I love you guys. I will catch you so soon in the next one. Until then, be safe, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.